Disclaimer: the information and education material contained herein is meant to promote the general understanding and dialogue of GAN's processing. Such information is not meant or intended to serve as a substitute for a healthcare professional's clinical training, experience, or judgment. For patients and individuals, such information is not to be a substitute for professional medical, therapeutic, or healthcare advice or counseling. For medical issues or concerns, including decisions about medications and other treatments, readers, viewers, listeners should always consult their physician or, in serious cases, seek immediate assistance from emergency personnel. Prescription information, procedures, and use of medical devices information should be undertaken only by properly trained and certified medical personnel. We specifically disclaim any warranties, express or implied, including implied warranties of merchantability or fitness for a particular purpose. Such information is provided, as is, and is believed to be accurate at the time of its publishing, but it is the viewer's job to evaluate the accuracy of any information found in this presentation. Every case presented is of their own experience, applied by themselves for themselves, and it applies to their case only. Every person experiencing health problems should seek professional medical advice and consult their course of treatment with a doctor. The processes of plasma balancing described herein are a natural process which supports the body but does not replace medical advice or therapies one is already subject to.
Can the soul of the creator be replicated?
It's already replicated within us. You are blind.
I just knew you were going to say that. I was going to type that answer back to him. Mr. Keshe is going to say blah, blah, blah. And sure enough, yes, exactly. Could you expand on that a bit, perhaps? Might be a better question.
When we talk about Mitra, Mitra does not collect or did not collect the rays of every race in the universe, the best of, to create her child, her manifestation of physicality. We have to understand that all these rays came from the Creator. She collected the totality of what she loved from the best thing of the lover to create the perfection that she can feed back to the lover. Not only I take, I give back, that we are equal in loving each other. I become the source of manifestation to show your beauty. This is why, with the birth of Mitra, we see both the created and the creator within, the soul and the soul of physicality within the tangibility of all. The beauty with the presence of Mitra is not just that the human race will see her, but every race will confess to her beauty and her existence. Because they're all collected from the same, the best. She did not collect from the soul of physicality. She collected from the soul of created, the best. And this is what it is, and this is, we've been waiting for this for the time of the creation. You call it the Adam and Eve, because we could not explain to man before. And we gave it different names, Adam and Hawa, and you call it the Shirin and Farhat in different languages, and Romeo and Juliet in the others. But in essence, is giving life for the beauty, collecting the best of to show the creation of the Creator. And in so many ways, in terms of what we call scientific way, as I said before, is the same. And we always said, in another way, if you understand it, you go clockwise, and then you go anti-clockwise. Where did you come from? You take from the creator, and what you get, you give back to the creator, that you are always equal and in balance, does not matter where. This is the beauty of the creation. And it's the same at every strength. That's why wherever you go in the universe, you'll find everyone speaks about the creator and point of balance, point of manifestation, point of confirmation of the love to give unconditionally. As you give me unconditional, I give back to you unconditionally. For you to get back, you have to have gravity. For me to take back, I have to receive it from you to have that gravity back. As I said many times in the teaching, if you're on this side and it comes to you, you are gravitated to. When you're on this side, you are the giver, you're magnetical. But if you are the creator, you're there. What about if you are the created? It's the same, but in a different direction. But in essence, they're always in balance. I made man to the image of myself, which means I created Mitra to be me as the reflection of my own.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the 637th Knowledge Seekers Workshop here on Thursday, April 9th, 2026. This is a broadcast of the Keshe Foundation, Spaceship Institute, Education Department, and part of the public teachings in English. My name's Rick Crammond. I'll be your host once again in this weekly series of wonderful workshops. And once again, we have His Essence, Mr. Keshe, to present today's workshop. And thank you, Mr. Keshe, for being here for the last 636 Knowledge Seekers workshops, continuously every week and on time every time too. So quite amazing. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Good morning, good day to you, as usual, wherever and whenever you listen to this series of knowledge seekers of the Keshe Foundation Spaceship Institute. We welcome you back, as usual, to this amazing field which has created us, and we are amazed by how simply us thinking the most intelligent thing in the universe are nothing but just of what I call phantom waves, and depends how they condense through the interaction of the cosmic rays. It becomes our emotion, it becomes our feeling, it becomes our skin, it becomes our voice, and all that is one thing, a collection of cosmic rays, the rays of cosmos, the rays of creation. And as I always said, if it's so simple, what and why are we fighting for? We fight to live, we fight to be there, we fight to take the last breath as long as possible, we fight to destroy each other to show we have power, and we do everything else from collection of fields. The question to ask is, we have become manifestation of collection of fields of the universe. And at the end of the cycle of the physicality, we become again those fields of universe. We come from cosmic rays and we go back to become cosmic rays, to somewhere in the span of the universe become the source of creation. Cosmic dust, cosmic fields, manifestation of stars, and again maybe our soul become that grain of dust in the deserts of the universe. But the most fundamental thing for us, we always studied the manifestation of. There's a planet, there's a man, there's a soul of the man, there's a physicality of the man, there's galaxies and universes. But we always looked at what we see. The most important thing in the world of the creation through cosmic rays is the condition, is the environment, the fields of environment. And how does the field of environment dictates manifestation of physicality or conformation of the fields? What we see in the matter state is a very small fraction of the total fields in the universe. As we said before, what is clear spaces between the stars and galaxies, and between the planetary and between the cell of the man in his body, is not just nothing, it's fields. And these fields dictate the condition of the manifestation. And if by any chance you have a field which matches the field of the environment, it manifests itself. We call this the inertia. We got used to inertia of the matter on planet Earth. But in the universe, between the galaxies, there is an inertia. This is the field inertia, which the world of science of today has not even come to grasp. The creation of the fields from cosmic rays to create the condition of cosmic inertia is that the essence of the creation. A seed of a star does not come into manifestation suddenly in a galaxy if what we call cosmic ray inertia does not exist. Is that hidden energy, which we call it the inertia of the matter, as a cosmic energy inertia, which creates the environment that allows that matter to manifest itself within it. If you go back to teachings of the past, many times I explained and I said, the day will come that I will create a fish in a fish tank with a drop of water. This is the fundamental understanding of it. I create the inertia, gravitational magnetic fields of the environment, which allows that drop of water to manifest itself as a fish. Do not forget that every drop of the water in anywhere as energy carries the whole information of the world of creation. It's just what environment you create around it will lead to the manifestation of the matter state or observation state of. In a way, one drop of water, one atom, one electron, one proton carries the whole information of the essence of the creation from the time of the beginning. It's just what condition we create for it to manifest itself as a part of an atom, as a star, as a galaxy, as a human body, as an organ of the human body, or as a cell of the body of the man. We always concentrated on understanding of the manifestation of what we see, but we have to understand we cannot see if the environment of condition, environmental cosmetic inertia does not allow for it to be manifested. Have you ever had a condensator in the house where you absorb moisture? You breathe the air, there's nothing wrong with it, we are fantastic, everything is perfect. But you buy a condenser and then you take buckets and buckets of water out of it. Where did this come from? It's the same. In that condenser, we create a condition, gravitational magnetic fields, with whatever form we have learned to change what we were breathing as air into a moisture. There's no difference between that and the creation of cosmic ray, inertia, magnetic field in the universe, where it is not to the strength of the field of the observer, it becomes transparent. And where can be carrying the information and the energy of the universe, but condensed to the field strength of the inertia of the eye of, hearing of, anywhere being detected and observed of the observer, then it becomes manifestation of that point. In the creation, in the world of creation, we look at the sky, we see a cross, so we see a dot, we say it's a star. What is between us and that star that we can see through? Transparency. There is no difference between the space between the stars and the lymph in the body of the man. Touch it, you cut yourself, you see a white stuff, clear, transparent stuff, carries the whole essence of the life of the man in it, and it depends if he gets to the liver, becomes a cell of the liver, if he gets to the brain, becomes a cell of the brain, if it comes to the kidney, becomes a cell of the kidney. Is the condition of the environment dictates how it manifests itself. The transparency of your lymph is exactly the transparency of the space gap in the universe. If we had the strength field of understanding, of creating the condition of, when we go into space, we will not float, we'll be in a jelly, exactly like the lymph of the body of the man. But with the energy that we have created in our amino acid and the environment of the creation of it, which is confined within the skin of the body of the man, this space gap is not as jelly as the lymph of the body of the man, but is non-tangible, is like a gas. If we change the condition of our amino acid within our structure, we'll end up in a jelly, very much like a lymph, as is for other created things which have that strength. Once man understand the full potential of what we call cosmic ray inertial gravitational magnetic field, the whole cycle of the knowledge of the man will change. Then you'll understand when I told you I'll manifest Christ in its whole physicality through the essence of the one drop of water is not a dream anymore. It's understanding the science of creation. Those who understand this knowledge travel the span of the universe instantaneously. Those who are ignorant to the knowledge of creation, going from Earth to Moon is a journey of rocket technology and the rest of it. The new knowledge, the new understanding of the plasma technology is to understand the work of cosmic rays, is to understand the essence of creation and how we are created. I create in a fish tank the magnetic field of the energy of to you looking as a water, and by adding another water, which in that water an interaction will become the dimension and the creation of a fish. In a way, you have a water and I add a drop of ink. With a drop of ink, I change the color of the water. With that drop, I manifest the manifestation of the fish. In the world of science, we call it the resurrection in the name of the religion. In understanding, so if you can create, if your soul can create the field at the point of the impression of the condition of the cosmic ray, gravitational magnetic field, inertia, this can carry your soul, your spirit into a dimension, and then by changing that, you are manifested as a man, as an animal, as a dog, and everything else. Now we understand this knowledge. Now we are aware of the creation of the soul of the man. The soul of the man is that creator of the cosmic ray, inertia, gravitational magnetic field system. And how the soul interacts with the environment and the condition of the structure of its collection and creation leads to the creation of a dog, a cat, a man, aliens, a star, and everything else. We call it tornadoes, we call it hurricanes, and we call it anger, and we call it lashing out. There is no difference. One is the behavior of a man, and one is behavior of a planet. In essence, which emotion has created that, it's the same. You go out for breakfast every day, you go for lunch, you go for holidays, and you do repeat the same thing every day. You sleep at a certain time. The planet creates hurricane in a certain day, as this is lunchtime, and typhoons in another day, in a part of the day, in a cycle of 1 year, repeats the same thing. Because it's made of the same structure. Man needs to understand the repetition of the system. Man needs to understand the cycle of the energy of the cosmic ray inertia. Then man will understand the whole process of creation. If one day human scientists understand this, that not only they can control the creation of the cell, but they can control the creation of the environment for the cell to manifest, man has reached the ultimate knowledge of the creation. It's yin and yang, energy and matter, and how you can manifest matter within the field of the energy. You do it in your freezers, you do it in your cookers, but when it comes to cosmic understanding fields of the universe, man is there, mentally blocked to understand the repetition of the same. The world of creation is one of the most simplest structures in the universe. Repetition, confirmation, and then manifestation. If man comes to understand that he needs to create the condition through the emotion, through his soul, then he can travel the span of universe to the center of the soul of the creator. because at that point he can create the gravitational magnetic field of the cosmic rays of the Creator, because it's within it. It's very much like these teddy bears that you open it, turn it inside out, and it becomes something else. But in essence, what was out becomes in. Once the world of science understand the creation of full structure, conversion, understanding of, separation of, difference of the cosmic ray, inertia, gravitational magnetic field, and matter inertial magnetic fields, then man has cracked the key, has found the entrance to the world of the creation. Man needs no medicine, man needs no food, man needs no killing, man does not need to do anything, but travels the span of the universe, gathers the knowledge of the universe, and becomes that drop. Because it came from that drop. Maybe, as I said before, now mankind understands why in the, what we call the little wells we dug in the rivers, internal rivers of the planet Earth, suddenly we see goldfish. Because in that environment, the essence of the magnetic field inertia of the cosmic ray is transferred into the matter state, which manifests what can live in the water, which is a fish. If what we call the deep wells of this planet can create a condition of a fish, create gravitational magnetic field in the cosmic ray levels of the creation, how come man cannot? Do we need the womb of the mother to create the condition of the manifestation of life? Or can we create a condition the same as the mother that can lead to creation of the soul, that leads to creation of manifestation of physicality? Do we need incubators? Do we need systems that we put egg and sperm? And then in that condition of the tube, allow it to give life? Or to create a perfect life, we create the environmental magnetic field in a cosmic ray level that leads to the creation of the soul, that leads to the creation of the man when we change the dimension of physicality in the environment of the earth and another creatures in another environment in the universe. This is the birth of the children of Mitra. Understanding of the conversion of the cosmic rays of the universe and manifestation of them according to cosmic ray inertia gravitational magnetic field. It's the environment which leads to the creation of manifestation of the matter state, and not matter state to the condition of environment. If, when our scientists understand this and use this for dimension of the communication, understanding of the totality of the knowledge of the creation, man will enter the true heavens of the knowledge. The reason for teaching of today is simple. Make your soul understand the emotion within the structure of your soul and the structure of your emotion to lead to the creation of the environment. That at that point, the spirit of the man will bring the knowledge of the physicality to match the environment. You will not be in the swimsuit manifesting yourself in the North Pole to be naked to die, but you will manifest yourself in the North Pole in a condition that allows you to survive. You don't need a bikini, you don't need a fur coats. Your body, your metabolism of your body, knowing, understanding the cosmic ray inertia will create the manifestation of the physicality that can match the environment to live. In the coming time, in the structures that we're setting up, we will show this very clearly. The prelude to this was shown in lens as a vertical systems. In those systems, we create the condition of cosmic ray inertia and not the transmutation. We create that soup that the body of the man becomes like that sugar melted in the, what we call the hot water, the cosmic ray inertia, magnetic gravitational field, and then through a connection of the cosmic ray antennas, we transfer that. We allow the emotion of the soul to transfer itself to where it needs to. Once man learns to control his emotion, to change the cosmic ray energy, inertia within his soul, man becomes the transmitters of the universe. You transfer physicality, but you transmute the energy. When you can change through emotion the field strength, the dimension of the field strength of the soul of the man, the cosmic ray energy of the, what we call the creator's inertia, you will land in there in no time. And when you land there, you do not even know where you are, and you're in the presence of your creator, as you are part of his creation and he's part of your creation. This knowledge is not hidden to man anymore, but man needs to understand he does not need machinery to achieve it. He has to understand how to control his emotion. That is like that little heater, little gas cooker, which you have the pot on and you put the ice on. Do you put the pot with the ice in the freezer and keep it frozen? Or you gradually warm it up and you change that ice into the water and into the vapor. And then when it's that vapor, it manifests itself anywhere in that space of the room it is to what it likes. It'll become a frost on the window, which is cold. It become a moisture in the air, or become a part of the water which gets absorbed by the body of the man in the room. Your emotion is that control on the cooker. Where do you want it to be? This is why in all the teachings we kept on teaching you about the emotion of the physicality, emotion of the soul, and the connection. Emotion is that flame which changes the man. Not from anger to happiness, but from matter to energy. And once man understands this, man's become the transmitter of universe. Man will travel the span of universe not needing nothing, but with it will carry the emotion of the man as a man from this planet, because the dimension of field strength, the seed of it, next to the seed of the energy of the creator in the center of the soul, is coded human earth, amino acid 43. And that's all it is. We are a package on the back of a carrier. The carrier is the soul of the creator, and the package is the soul field energy of the earth, and the rest of it is again coded. We have decoded the what we call the genome of the man. We have not decoded the genome of the creation, which is fields and nothing else. We have decoded what we call the whole structure of the genome of the man, so many millions and billions and combinations. There is no difference between that and the gene of the creation. But for that, we do not look at the matter state. For that, we look at the energy pattern of the cosmic ray inertia. Because we are that little bit attached to the back package of the soul of the creator, and what is the environment around it allows us to manifest ourselves as a man, as a dog, as an alien, as a dust and a stone, anywhere in the universe. Now you understand why the Holy Scripture says even a soul, even a stone has a soul. Because that soul comes from the creation of a soul, which is found itself in the dimension of the gravitational magnetic field, energy inertia of that place, point, and manifestation. We don't come from the rays of the sun as the single sand in the desert. In interaction with the environment of this planet, at a point of interaction, condition of the inertia of the earth, we change the condition to become that stone, or become the soul of a man, or become manifestation or part of physicality of the creation on this planet. And then you understand how easily you mutate from man to a beast, to a sand, the alien, to the soul of the creator. It depends what inertia, cosmic ray was become in touch with the field strength of your soul, which with the thermostat of emotion you control. Today I want to be that ice. Tomorrow I want to be the water. The day after I want to be the vapor, which allows me to travel in any position in the room, which the room is the universe and the unicos. My soul is that essence of the drop. I hope your knowledge seekers understood the essence of teaching of today. Understand your emotions, and not emotion by lashing out, and not emotion by loving. Learn to feel the strength of the emotion that allows you to travel the span of the universe. This is how you travel the span of the universe when you physically asleep, and you call it a dream. Because at that point, the inertia field, the strength of your soul dictates the position, because now the emotion of the soul takes the energy and not the emotion of the man in the dimension of awakeness. Your biggest enemy in traveling the span of universe is the consciousness of the physicality. Attachment to this worthless planet. Once man understands this, how to control the flame of emotion through his spirit that he can carry to match the what we call the emotion of the soul, then the soul knows how to match to the gravitational magnetic field inertia of the cosmic rays of the universe. Traveling the span of the universe become the oyster of man in understanding the world of creation. The pearl in that oyster is the soul of the creator, and the rest is the environment that allows that pearl to manifest itself. Man needs to understand that emotion was not given to him just to show and react. The emotion was given to man to understand how to connect the travel of the spans of the universe to the control heater of the emotion. Your emotion makes you love. Try to understand what's the next emotion which allows you to connect to your soul. But the emotion of the man is connected to 5 senses of the man. You have to bring the 5 senses to what we call the harmony, synchronized, and then you can connect to your soul. What do you breathe? what you touch, what you taste, what you smell, and what you see has to be synchronized in the emotion of detachment. Then you become controlled by your own cosmic ray, drop of rain of your existence, and then the universe is the oyster of life for man. You choose the ocean. Once you understand how to control the emotion, then you can understand how you can create the transmutation. And then you understand with the field strength, inertia of your soul, how and where to manifest next to your lover in a kitchen, on the moon, in Mars, in another galaxy, or in the central soul of your creator. I made man in the image of myself. I have a soul and I've given that soul to the man. It's for man to understand, to live in the dimension of the soul and not in the dimension of physicality. We go for a break, and I hope those of you who are wise and reach the wisdom of creation understood the message of teaching today. Rick, take us for a break and we come back.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Keshe. All right, well, as he mentioned, we will have a short break here. I've got some information about what's called the ground-to-ground cosmic ray technology that I'll play, and the vertical unit ad is also lined up. So we'll listen to those, and in the second part of the program, there will be an opportunity to raise your hand if you're an attendee here in the Zoom, and then you can ask a question if you wish. And we can open your microphone once you raise your virtual hand. You can also put comments or questions into the chat or Q&A, and also into the YouTube. Okay, we'll be back shortly.
The new Vertical Enhancement Spaceship Unit. A plasma space technology to prepare humanity for transportation and transmutation in deep space. Essential processes are embedded to prevent mutations and psychosomatic conditions during deep space travel. This new system is designed to support upper body conditions, especially of the lungs and intestines, and can be targeted specifically for each organ. When inside the Vertical Enhancement Spaceship Unit, the body experiences balance in totality, enabling it to correct and rebalance all the fields within itself. The new Vertical Enhancement Spaceship Unit, a dimension in health and transportation never seen before.
King Peter asks, what is the ground-to-ground cosmic ray technology, and how could it be used to promote or facilitate unity within a one-nation policy framework?
What do you mean by ground to ground?
Perhaps he's talking about the new units that are part of the network, that the network unit.
That is part of the ONN unit you're talking about. Those are part of standard life physical structure, but with it we connect into what we call universal line of connections, that you don't need no satellites. I was even talking to a group that we have to build units that we can submerge thousands of meters, maybe 3, 4, 5 kilometers below the sea level in the oceans, that we can spread balance fields across this planet. Once you register, as you've done, your computer, your laptop, your mobile phone is become part of the network that nobody can interfere with. And you play the game, but at the same time you support the whole structure of the World Peace Treaty.
So to be clear, you can still play the game without having one of the One Nation Network units?
This is a game. That's different thing through the One Game Nations. Those are different, and this, yes, you can play the game.
Okay.
You can go to the Keshe Foundation and now buy the coins, not as donation anymore. Please note, those of you who donate or send money to Keshe Foundation Manufacturing, Austria, there's a check your line of donation. There'll be changes. If you see any changes, write to us. We direct you to the right place. A lot of things happening. Keshe Foundation, as a whole in its operation, is setting up a parent and subsidiaries and sister, or they call children of the companies. And we had to realign, reorganize a lot of our work in different nations. So where we operate, we keep one mother company and many subsidiaries. But the mother company never gets involved in any of the work. And these mother companies are owned by the foundation and work that way, where the children subsidiaries can go into cooperation, collaboration, and everything else on themselves. We have separated now 2 of our major corporations this way, and adjust yourself with where we are and how we are if you're working with the foundation. Nothing has changed, it's just internal restructuring was needed, that we can keep the assets of the foundation well distributed out of the line of political positioning. The other question, shall we close if you allow in a few minutes, because it's a Christmas day.
Yes, yes. If we could have another maybe 15 minutes to end at the hour. Okay, we are back again at the 637th Knowledge Seekers Workshop here on Thursday, April 9th. And as I mentioned, because it's the second part, there will be an opportunity to ask questions of Mr. Keshe. But before that, he always has a few things to say before we engage into the questions. So please go ahead, Mr. Keshe.
Very much. As we have said before, and many of you're sending us requests to collaborate with us in different parts of what we're developing, there is something very important which is coming up. When you're sending us information about collaboration, send us a full detail. The plan, the proposal, what you have achieved, what you received. Not just we want to develop such and such a thing and we've done this and that. For us to make a very rapid decision, we need to have full details. You have applied, you have certificates, you have licenses, what happened to the license, what happened to the product, what are you planning to do? Not just I have this and we've done this and we want to do this. This doesn't work with us. Those time doesn't, what we call Keshe Foundation used to look at these things is gone. We don't have the manpower to do, we don't have the, what we call people to look at what are called just somebody's thought. Send us a full proposal plan. You made a prototype. We have to see the prototype. You have a legal registration. You have certified something. You have developed a technology. You have a permission. You have a factory permission. You have equipment test permission. Everything has to be included in your proposal. Sending us this, and I've done this and that does not go with us anymore. We are categorizing those who come with the initial information or thoughts that we can build on, or those who have are in the process of developing, or those who have developed and they claim they have this and everything has to be submitted to us. Any paperwork, any design. We are not copying your technology. As we said, we have no patent. We don't follow patent business. We respect the knowledge. But for us to be even interested in taking your case up for our team to look at it is very simple. You have to give us a full information. Not just that I have done this, I have done with my friends this, it's a team of us doing this. Every piece of work has to be stated. We spend 5 minutes on it. If it's worth it, we think we can support it, we come back to you. Doesn't matter how much time you put into it. We're getting a lot of knowledge seekers coming up with, I have this, but the technology you think you have is already obsolete. That's why we don't answer you. We don't even have time to answer many of the questions, what do you call it, offers or technologies you offer us. To you is very advanced, but to us is obsolete. Absolutely obsolete. We are at a different level. What you see as knowledge seekers in present time is not even 5% of what Keshe technology does in the background. We develop. Even we have it structured in a way that our teams do not even know the other team what is working in. For security reason, for strengthening the technology, for creating clusters of specific technologies. I see a lot of people sending us, oh, I have done this, or my team has done that. You have to come up with everything. And those we see as dangerous to the work of the humanity, those who we see unethical, we just don't answer. Doesn't matter how good you think your technology is. If your technology does not fit into the program we have today, we abandon it. Maybe in the future we come to it. We don't need to copy your technology. We see some people sending us the edge of science technology. Everything else is obsolete. To you is very advanced. We are so advanced in technology, in development, that we can't even tell you what we do. Those of you who think, oh, I know Mr. Keshe, I send the thing, I have this and we've done this as a group, is zero value if full detail is not given. And even with what you give us, we already passed. What's the use of coming and wasting time? Many knowledge seekers are sending us to the info that we have done this, we got this certificate. These are zero, you're behind time. We don't go backwards, we're going forwards. And to allow you to take hundreds of thousands, millions of dollars of investments just to go backwards is not worth to us. Your communication system, your cosmetic material, your food system has to be something which adds on to what we already have. Not for us to go back just because you thought of it, you're a knowledge seeker. We are not in the game to go backwards. I've seen some of you sending us information that we have developed, I have developed, but when I look at it, sorry, we are like 200 years ahead of you. Why should we go backwards? And then you say the Keshe Foundation doesn't apply. The Keshe Foundation, they want to still come in. No, because what you sent us is totally backwards for us to go back. I respect your research. Carry on doing. Develop further. We look at it. You can continue to keep in touch with us. We look at it when it's applicable to our process. When we can use it ourselves. When it's addition, then we call you in. Then we invest in your thoughts with you to be part of. Some of you sent us technologies, is so advanced, we have governments with us, this is all rubbish, because what we see you sent us, we have about 10, 15 of these things people coming sending to us, it's already obsolete. Why should we go backwards? We don't need to. We don't even respond. When we don't respond to you, it means your technology is what we already achieved a long time ago, but we are not even open with it. In the next few months, with all the O&N systems which come into the market, all of you, there's about 8,000 of them coming into operation this year. How do you think you're going to bypass the internet communication? How do you think we transfer energy and everything and the communication and even control your dreams? Because we have reached that point of development to produce this. The new systems don't even need power connection. You can take it and drop it in the ocean and it'll do its work. Energy transportation is not part of our work anymore because we passed that point. We're adding into creating energy within, converting the energy into cosmic ray and reaching everything in a different ways. Be it for medical, be it for energy, be it for anything which is applicable. You sending us anything, just don't send us, we have developed this, I have developed this, blah, blah, blah. And you think it's the edge of science. Your edge of science is a stone age knowledge to what we do. In 2027, we'll introduce a new plasma chips, which can literally run every computer on this planet in a block of 1 centimeter by 1 centimeter. Then you have to understand how advanced the technology is. We have to develop machinery to fit our technology to come. We haven't even got to that point. We have to convert the present technology to go. The next step for us is to create energy systems which themselves control to create conditions for production of new things. Let me explain to you, those of you knowledge seekers who send us forms or requests that blah, blah. The Keshe Foundation is at a point and position where we, even by producing ganses, we don't need material. Because we can produce the material ourselves, we don't need a mine. We don't need to buy we produce our own material, use our own material to convert to energy, convert it into food, medicine, what we need. If you understand this, then you understand how advanced the technology is. Self-sufficiency through the cosmic ray, and not to buying materials, converting materials. So please, I thank you. Please keep on sending us as much information as you can, what you're doing, what you thought. Doesn't mean it's not something you thought it could not even be in our thoughts. We see it, we say, yes, it's worth investing. We are not going to open research centers and do things. We have already opened research centers. There are empty rooms in buildings waiting for technologies to come from knowledge seekers or within the Keshe Foundation structure of research. By 2027, 100,000 square meters of research centers available to knowledge seekers to open. You do not come up with something new. Once we are now opening up, there will be other knowledge people become knowledge seekers of the future, which take these spaces. We are not going to open this space. Today, at this moment, we have about 4,000 square meters of research, empty space in most advanced buildings in the world already. We are looking for technologies. The system is set up. Some of you knowledge seekers already know, working with us in the background in these fields. But just because you think I created something and I've developed something, or a group us up doing something, some of the things you do, we don't even touch. It's so harmful. To you is the edge, just because you see what you can give. You don't see what damage your technology is doing to humanity. Please keep on flooding us with new technologies. But when you do, just don't send, just write, this is my thoughts, this such as account. We look at the thoughts. You have set up a structure, you have developed a prototype, send us how it looks, what it is. We send a ticket for you and your family to move into the area of the research. We do not move one single knowledge seekers individually anymore. We provide, once you arrive, the education of your child, the full health cover, paid as a private education for your children. It's getting set up. It's not that you go on your own. We cover everything that you develop at peace, and with that brings peace to humanity. So please, if you're sending us emails or whatever, all this knowledge which is coming in from you, once we go through it, our team, only those which has a full documentation, we look at. You cannot say, I have developed this, so group us up there. You developed, have a look, let's see. You imagine you developed, it's a different thing. We have to look at how much foundation needs to invest to complete your imagination. And some of your work is dangerous to humanity. We do not even respond. You use the wrong combination, you don't understand what you're doing, but you think you're the head of everything and you understand all of it. We refuse. You have to understand, we work with governments. We have to be clean and clear, because especially with the new game which you play, we are funding the governments, we are paying governments, we are transferring assets into governments. For them to accept us, we have to be clean, clear in every aspect of our work. We do not look at your color, race, religion, path of belief, or political affiliation. We look at how your technology is in balance with what we do and what is good for it for the future of human technology. All these energy transportation, people send us things we have made, things that we can transfer. And Norway, Denmark has released the wireless communication, what do you call it, power transmission, which is so advanced. We are ahead of that, 100 years ahead of that. The technology we have developed is hundreds. Then we have people who say we can do this, and we can do treat this is that, this is. We don't go into the treatment. We change the soul of the man. And then we get a lot of you sending us like med beds and we can do health. We don't work that way. Unless you can show us you reach the position where we have. You have seen us, we tested monthly between you lot. You join us, you pay us for us to develop further. We look at it. If you add to our knowledge, yes. If you copied our knowledge and then you think you added something else to it and it's developed to be something you imagine, but you haven't managed to show a practical unit, do not bother with us. Because every research takes $1 to $3 million to complete from a point of putting it in, producing a production line and putting it in the market or bringing application to it. Keep on sending us your emails. I thank you very much. We receive so much in our what we call email pack and individually sending us the messages. I've done this, that. If we don't reply, it means your technology is below what we have achieved. We already passed that point. If we see a merit in your technology to be ahead of what we do, we communicate with you. We request you to inform us more. I've seen in past few weeks some knowledge seekers sending us, oh, we have developed, I have developed this, that, and does this. You don't get the response from us, it means we already passed it. Even though you think your technology is so advanced. Please send us your thoughts. We look at it. Is it feasible? Is it practical? I had knowledge seekers sending us, I have done this, it saves humanity so much. And I wrote, what do you do? We do it in 5 seconds and the technology is going for commercialization, even though to them was so advanced to do. We don't disrespect you, but we try to change the condition. We try to bring new technologies, which is with us. Anything to do with energy transfer, anything to do with the communication, we are not interested because we have developed technologies which communicates across the universe. In the communication, we add emotion. Some of you on the 17th of this month, you're coming for addiction. See, and some of you joined this addiction test about a year ago, and how many of you lost your addiction? If you joined us last session of addiction, last year, do not join this time. Because your addiction is changed. Do not bring back something new to it. Do not just come in because you want to be in. If you had addiction, you joined the addiction session of the last time. This time is no. We look at your references. We look at what you wrote to us. Do not come back in because many of you lost your addiction. Why are you going in? When you don't have a headache, why do you take aspirin? If you have a specific addictions, and you haven't been in the last session, join us for the 17th. Just don't come in because I go in every session. Because we work that way. If you have anything in that banner, please understand. If you're addicted to anything which you want to get rid of, join the next session on the 17th. And secondly, does not come by Zoom. You have to register through the Keshe Foundation channel, KF, on the Enlightenment game. Come in, it's set up that way, nobody can interrupt you. It'll be the most peaceful session. And from now on, we repeat this passage. So people who want to join sessions, you register with us. We give you the access through the back of the system to come into the sessions. Nobody can cough, nobody can disturb you. And this is development thanks to the people who developed our game system. Now this is another part to it. As I said before, we're still looking for programmers. We're looking for blockchain, what we call it, computer programmers. We're looking for game programmers that we can recruit. We recruited a few people this week. Thank you very much for joining us. Those of you who arranged it for us for them to be here. And you will see a much more rapid development. We worked very heavily to bring a large number of computer programmers from certain country, and due to situations we come, we had to redirect. It delayed us for about 3 to 6 months, but now we are back on the track, and you'll see everything moving very fast in all directions. As I said, don't write to us. We have this technology, we've done so much, we got government planning permission and the rest of it. If you haven't got a unit at that level to show what it does, it's all theoretical. You don't hear from us, because when we look at what you offered us, is 10 years behind us. We don't need to invest. And we don't bring knowledge seekers to teach them from scratch, to go backwards, to do things. Unless there are certain knowledge seekers which we see their knowledge valuable to us and their support. Send your imagination, send your technologies you developed. We know of 3,000 products development under the banner of the new structure. And we think there's about 20 to 30,000 new products in this. So one of them belongs to you. We are not the end, but at this stage we cannot put our human resources and the finances to follow a man, a group, and the things which they think they have, but they haven't actually achieved much. Nobody can force us. The foundation supports these finances, and we have to be very careful with every position we take and every position we spend. We are spending a lot of time developing this, and as I said, there is thousands of square meters of research center, development offices ready for knowledge seekers to move in. But your technology has to be what matches us, not just because you think otherwise I'll get it, whatever. Go to the other institutes and do. It doesn't mean that we can take everything up, but it has to match our time, it has to match our finances, it has to match our understanding of your technology. Don't forget, we work inside the government structures. And we have access to the most talented people in universities and colleges if you're looking for something, just for somebody to come and do. Those of you, as I said, you want to join us in 17th session. If you've been with us in the addiction session of last year, please withdraw. Your session will move to May of this year. And you can allocate that position to somebody else. Even if you have paid for the session, your paid session is for next month, not for this month. Because we have to test it that from now on we are much more advanced with setting up. If there are any questions, please, let's share.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Keshe. Let me see here. We always have questions. Again, I'll remind our attendees here that you can raise your virtual hand and we can recognize you and open your microphone so you can speak if you wish. Okay, let's start with the question from Jefferson in our Q&A. Says, good morning, Mr. Keshe. My name is Jefferson Modesto. I'm from Brazil. Thank you very much for your presence among us. You always tell us that my desire is my command. My question is, can we alter any aspect of reality simply by desiring that alteration? Can we, for example, correct problems in our physicality using only our desires? Can we modify the structure of physical and non-physical elements using this same principle? From this point of view, are we also creators, just like our creator? Thank you very much.
Yes, you can, but you have to create the environment for it. This is part of the teaching of today. As I said, hopefully one day I get a chance to go to this, what do you call, memory bank of the storage of the Keshe Foundation. And hopefully one day, once your knowledge is an archive, people get access to it, they can open it up for you. We have about 10,000 pictures, videos, and everything of growing a toe. As you know, in 2006-7, we did this. The desire not to lose an arm and a leg, and then a life, and the desire to create the environment for that not to happen allowed us to create the toe. It's not our technology. The desire of the person has to be there. The love of life to be alive has to be there. The lady just died 3-4 years ago, since 2005, 2006. She was supposed to die in 2005. The wish to live, the love to live, because she loved a man. And if I tell you about this love story, it goes crazy. She fell in love at the age of 55, 60, 50, 60 with a next door neighbor who she was neighbor with for years. She didn't know that the guy loves her so much. And when he said to her in late 50s that I've been in love with you for 20 years, she said, "You stupid man, why didn't you tell me?" And she fell in love with that. She wanted to live because of him. And the essence of the emotion of living gave us the opportunity to create the environment for the total live, to create. She could say no and die, amputation, and in 3 months we should have been dead. She died in the late 20s, 2020s, 22, 23. And some of you have seen her hand. It's not just wanting the desire, you have to create the environment for it to happen. And that environment we understand. We can create both the environment and the matter state. It's just for you how it fits you. You can create both in the essence of emotion and then use the soul of physicality or your spirit to create a field of the manifestation and the soul of the man to create a condition of environment. It's very easy to do. One day I'll teach you. So, yes, we can do. Nothing is undoable. Everything is doable. But you have to understand the potential of it, how you control the emotion. You have to learn a way to access the emotion of the soul. And you all know how to do it. You wish to see your mother, and the phone rings within seconds. Mom, I was just thinking about you. Now you understand how emotion works to touch the soul. You cannot call with your spirit or your phone, the mom, call me. But the emotion has been so pure, the desire of the emotion has been so pure that it's just connected the contact. Now you understand. You have dismissed a lot of things just as coincidence because you couldn't understand. Now you understand how it works. Create that desire. You do not need to go physical direction to one position. You can create that through the emotion of the soul. And then give it physicality, the feel the strength of the emotion of physicality. So simple. You can run away from it, but you can never escape from it if it's set for you to become. And some you control, some the environmental field decides when you get to be in that control. You can run away from it, but you cannot escape it if the environment is set. It's just like you move somewhere, you're trying to escape, they bring it to you, this is it. You say, Mom, I don't want the orange. Mom puts it on the table in front of you on the breakfast table. Mom, I don't want orange. Mom comes on the bed, says, oh, this is your orange. Mom, I don't want orange. Yes, because you're to sleep. Mom, this is an orange. You cannot escape from it till you eat that orange. Does not matter if it's emotional, psychological, and everything else. We have certain destinies or emotions and manifestation and creation, and some is set for us. We cannot change because the other souls have already agreed to it for gifting, for what you call not gifting, you call it a punishment, but withdrawing from, and everything else. You have to understand, you decide not to go to mom, but you do not know that the soul have decided for something happened to go to mom. Mom calls, would you come and see me? Mom, I don't have time, it's too busy. Mom has already created, I made your favorite pie, the one you love. Mom, I'm there in 5 minutes. Now you understand. It's the same with the soul. This is how the promises of the, what you call condition of prophets is made. It's not a prophecy. It's the same soul, just creating the cooking different time to manifest. Moses, Christ, Muhammad, the rest and the rest. It's the same soul. It just depends how much he turns the heat up. Any other question, please?
Okay, thank you. Let me see. We have a question in the chat here from Pete.
Can I say something? I think I've told you this before, but for those of you who haven't heard it, it's new to the foundation. The position I have today in sharing knowledge with you so freely, from medicine to space, to agriculture, to everything else, is a gift which was given to me when I was very young. It was put on the table to me through the channels, the ways I understood at the age of 19. I said, I'm too young. I cannot accept. This is too much heavy responsibility. I'm too young to have no experience to carry such a teaching, such a knowledge. I remember June, July of 1978, I told a friend of mine, sitting on the beaches of Brighton in south of England, we went for a week holiday together, that I carry such a knowledge and I can't accept it, and I know how to escape it. I know how you can escape this because it's too much. He said to me, when the time comes, because I know you know too much things, but it'll come, just take it as it comes. Take it when, accept it when you're ready. This went away. I battled with it. I kept on research. Came back to me when I was 29 again. And I said, I'm too young. I haven't got the experience to handle the world governments, because that time I was very deep into world of commerce and politics. I knew where the problem sits if I try such a thing. Everything changed, put me in a position to come to where the Keshe Foundation ended up. And then again, it came to me when I was 40. And this time I was told, you cannot refuse. The term is set. And I abandoned all my work and I put into research and development at the Keshe Foundation. We can dictate certain things, but if the time is set, we're just a tool in the structure of the other souls. And then you see the physicality of the Keshe Foundation and the rest of it today. In a way, I was given time to play for 20 years, but I was told, you played enough, it's time to deliver. And it's just the same with everything in life. We have control over certain things, but when the other soul sets up for you, for your conduct, or whatever you come from, you are within. There is no opportunity and no chance. Set is the mama who made the pie. You just make it and you think, oh, I'll go to see mom. The pie for me was a world peace. and the cake was already made. It was just there to deliver. Carry on.
Okay. Yes, we have a question from Peter in our webinar chat here. Says, good day, Mr. Keshe. Can you explain the difference between a magnetic field and a cosmic ray?
Magnetic fields we usually associated with the entity, tangible things, like by instruments, by magnets and materials. Cosmic rays is the ones which are free. We might find the source of it, but in essence is what do you call it? It's not connected to anything, which is immediately what you call tangible. It's like the field of the creation connected to the creator, but that's become part of cosmos. It travels the cosmos to find a home, to become our thoughts, to become our emotion, to become part of our life. So this is how we separate it. And every physical matter has a connection to a cosmic ray because it receives its sources, its energy from outside. Even when you have a magnet in your hand, the magnet, even so you see it as a magnet, it behaves like a magnet, it still receives cosmic rays, which is at this field strength. Because these magnetic fields coming out of it still connect to somewhere else, don't come back, so it'll be depleted very soon, but it doesn't. So everything you look at, you have to look at is matter state energy and a connection to the fields of the universe. This is why we say the body uses the magnetic field of this planet as 20% of the food. The other 80% comes from cosmos. The two are connected. One converts the cosmic energy to matter state manifestation, conformation of existence. But if you break the matter up in the correct way, it can become a cosmic ray itself. This is what you do in production of gases. You know, we did a few tests, if you remember, with the help of one of our scientists in Iran. He did a lot, and some of you repeated it, and some others repeated it. He's a very deep researcher. He's a very big businessman in Iran. He does a lot of funny research with us, and I love to work with him. When you get a magnet, you put the magnet with the dust of iron, and you see the lines. This manifests the magnetic field. If you put a GaNs on magnets in dust, very seldom, if there is some certain conditions, you might see a few rays and they say no. But if you take the same, what you call GaNs, and you put it in the environment of the water, which is a collection of cosmic ray separation, you see the shape of your fields in the ice without actually the GaNs being in it. That ice is a manifestation of fields. The iron with the iron dust is manifestation of matter state magnetic field. That's cosmic ray. The iron is a magnetic field. And you can do it a lot. You remember a few years ago we showed, and some knowledge seekers very quickly copied and they came up with it. We done some fantastic research with this guy in Iran. And he produces specific machines. And we even bought one machine from him, or if you remember the orphan school, college we went to, the orphanage, for the children in the orphanage. This is the way I can clearly say, if you want to see, get a GaNs, put it on a dust of iron, you see no difference as such. Put it over a ice block, rapid freezing, and then you see the waves. You change this proportion of the gases, you see different shapes. It's a fantastic to do. And that's a cosmic ray. You see the fields there, you see the fields of a solid state in the matter state of iron dust. Any other question?
Okay, we have An anonymous attendee asks, I ordered an ONN, the network unit, I presume, in 2025. When will it be delivered? Thank you.
We have part of them with us. As I said, we had a problem. Our problem is not the unit. Our problem is our technical side, which is actually resolved this week. I hope we had certain position by next week. Hopefully, the first batch. Hope by the end of this month will go out. Some of those who are the supporting team behind are getting the supporting, what you call it, systems, that when you come online, they can monitor. As I said, we recruited 2 or 3 this week, which have joined us, and hopefully we'll recruit more in the coming weeks. As I said, if you are a blockchain guy, get in touch with us. And you should see the first batch, hopefully before end of this month. The units are bought, is with us, is software which needs to be completed, and it should be done by the first batch by end of this month. And then we run into, by the end of the year, the 8,000 units. Those 8,000, if it's not paid by knowledge seekers, the foundation will purchase, or we pay for it, and then we put it in operation in different countries with universities, and we pay in a way universities for the education of the children with 2,000 coins per year, or per month. This came partially because we relied heavily on the Iranian, what we call programmers, who, due to war and what happened in between, were not allowed to leave Iran. We could not collaborate. The internet were continuously cut, so we had to redirect. That was the main reason in delay. Is the software engineers which we recruited could not get to the point. And now that matter is resolved. So usually it's not that we have to buy them, it's just a bot. They have to be loaded with the software and then start leaving. The first 23, I think, if I'm correct. If it gets done, I saw the racks being put up yesterday or the day before in the new center. They need to be loaded, tested, our internet connection done. End of this month you will see it, and then we run those 23 for a month or two to see all the problems with it, and then we unleash 100 to 200 a month to complete. And by the end of the year, once those are connected completely, then we release the 8,000 in one go. Any other question?
Okay, good. Let's see here. Yeah, Paulo has a couple of interesting questions on amino acids, and we have another question on a cosmic question. Okay, so first one on the interaction between calcium and amino acids. He wants clarification about how can calcium, described as having a strength of 40, remain at the center of the cell and attract amino acids that have a higher strength, like 43. In biological systems, processes often behave differently from what is expected in purely physical models. How is this apparent contradiction explained within your framework?
How there is no contradiction is your lack of knowledge. Purely lack of your understanding of the science of creation. Calcium is a near solid state. It's a fixed point 40. The amino acid, hydrogen, nitrogen, and the rest are isotopes. And when they are in a plasma state, the field strength to matter state is totally different. So even though you count 43 in the matter state, in energy they're most probably 36, 35. Calcium is gravitational, holds on because it carries the higher density mass. That's simple as that. It doesn't fit in. You have to understand. This is why when we deal with the plasma, if you go back to the teaching, say, okay, if it's 56 in the matter set like iron, the energy isotope it could be as much as 45, as low as. And then if it's excited in conjunction with another field, it could be as much as 100. This is why some materials behave above themselves in another dimension. If you change the environment of the what we call cosmic ray inertia, the same matter will have a different field strength manifestation in different conditions. Because you allow the separation between magnetical and gravitational lines much deeper. That's the only reason. It's like you suck the vacuum out and you see the separation. That's all. Our knowledge is complete, it's just that you haven't understood fully what it means. All the amino acids, unless they're in the excited state comes when you get a virus and it goes over 40. And then the cell cannot handle and you get a death. And this is partially how our system, even what the material you produced in chronotype worked. You produced, without you knowing the way I structured it, a structural amino acid that is above calcium. And most of you in the time of the corona had a very good success with your gases because you used the amino acid which matches into the virus, not the amino acid which matches to your body. It's just you have to understand the knowledge, otherwise everything is correct. This is why when we speak about the amino acid, we always call the oxygen as the inertia point, as a gravitational field holder, because it's the heavier. The other attack to it through the dimension of the field connection. It's not that nitrogen 14 is nitrogen 11.9, 11.9999999, and 11.99999.8, and every one indicates manifestation of a different cell. And then, if you have such a vast variation in field strength and you have 5 elements which they give that combination, then you can see how you have so many billions of different cells in your body. I always say 49 numbers in the lottery paper, you choose 7, gives you 14 million combination. Now add that to the different field strength of the nitrogen, carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, and the calcium combination connection, and you see what you have. You have to understand the science. One is the matter energy field, that's why the calcium becomes the bone and cells of your body. And amino acid stays as rotationary, secondary, below fields. And then what you do, you add magnesium in a field strength. So now you get heavier, now you manifest yourself as a cell of a kidney. You add combination of the magnesium, silica, and the other one, you become cell of the liver and the rest of it. But the focal point, the hook is nailed in the ground with the calcium. It's the solid matter state, that's what it captures. It's very much as I explained once in the children's school teaching. It's like you've seen what we call, the indigenous Americans called dream catcher. When you put a dream catcher, sometimes in the wind, it catches a fly, it catches a moth, it catches a spider. You are in that position. The structure of amino acid with the calcium is that dream catcher. And it depends what it feels, to what the space it catches and becomes that cell or part of your body in combination with the field of the lymph of the body of the body. once the position is dictated, can be repeated. This means if I take your liver out, I can produce your liver because the space of its magnetic field bias is already indicated. That's why in the future there is no need for transplant and kidney replacement. You just create a condition the way we built the toe. You have to understand the knowledge. Any other question?
Here we have a second question from Paulo, and it happens to be the same question that Stefania sent me separately. So Paulo's question goes, I'll combine them both together here, but I'll ask Paulo's first. It's about electron orbitals and the cosmic analogy. So considering that in celestial systems, we do not observe two moons or planets occupying exactly the same orbit, would it be correct to question how multiple electrons can exist within the same orbital in atomic structure? And if this analogy does not hold, would that imply a need to rethink fundamental principles of chemistry? Now, Stefania asks, she says, Dear Mr. Keshe, on the 365th Knowledge Seekers Workshop, you said that there will be a children's game when we will understand the differences of why in the orbit of the solar system we have only one planet for the orbit, and in the atoms we have 2 or 4 and so on electrons. Could you go more deeper on the reason why there is one planet for orbit and more electrons for the atomic orbit? How can we use this understanding in such a way to make it easy to do, like a children's game?
It's very simple. This is the illusion of science, that because people who saw it, understood seeing it, could not explain it or never understood it fully. Even though we say 2 electrons on the same orbit, but in a space gap of the atomic structure, molecular structure, nuclear structure, it's like we put satellites in different orbits with a few meters from each other. There are some 30,000-40,000 satellites rotating around this planet, and they never hit each other because one is given a specific order, 230 kilometers, 0.85 meter. But you have another one which is 235.9. This is the same with electrons. In the world of cosmology or astronomy, we see the planet. Planet cannot be in the same. Finding the planets exactly the same distance from the orbit is impossibility, because the combination of the material which creates the magnetic gravitational field of that moon cannot be matching with another one. It's impossibility. It cannot be exactly the same number of copper, the same number of zinc, the same number of calcium in the same planet as the other one. So even though they look they're on the same orbit, they are space gapped. It's the same with the satellites. And this is the same with electrons. They look, because we don't have the systems to actually separate fraction of the millimeters or nano pico distance, they tell us they're on the same orbit. They are not on the same orbit. There is one is on, let's say, 200 kilometers away from the neutron or proton, and another one is 240.1111. That's all it is. But because we don't understand, because the composition of the materials within the electron cannot be the same as the other. Very much as we say, you cannot find 2 snowflakes to be exactly the same. Even though they say, oh, they have found one after billions of years of snow in the whole planet so many times. So it's not possible. It's just that they have made it simplified for us to understand, but in reality it doesn't happen. And secondly, when you have these kind of orbits condition, even though they look to be similar in the same place, in the same orbital time, there's a gap, a space gap with it. It'll never be. I mean, we have never seen in a physical dimension naturally two electrons hitting each other. Naturally. We can create condition of hitting it in the position of science, but naturally is very, 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 very seldom. So this is the educational presentation which has created this false image. Any other question?
Okay, thank you. Guillaume has a question. Good morning. How do we know it's the end of the cycle of life in regards to reincarnation? What is that feeling of contentment at the point of death?
There's a there's a scientific data. It's not just something which we say. Our body is become aware of the time of death, the natural death. And scientists have started gathering this data. Now is a huge, vast amount of data available about this. We live a normal life, 50 years, 60 years, 90 years. I was talking to one of knowledge last week about this, or very recently. If you go back, because we never had this time lapse, now we have this time lapse. Many of the women, actresses of 1940s, 1930s, are today with us. And they look as young as maybe 70, 80-year-old women. There are a number of them, hundreds of them. Actresses, actors, we have very few actors, usually by 80, 90. We have a number of actresses who are in their hundreds, and they're still living a normal life. They are still active, not the way they used to, but still live a normal life. They're not in home care, they're not demented, they still live a normal life. And they're looking forward to the future, because this 65 age of pension is man-made, and that causes the man to die, because the insurance companies, once you're out of job, you get depressed, you die. Never work for a company to live on a pension. Make a good pension for yourself. You live hundreds. Why these actresses? No, because they had the money. They don't look at their retirement's time. I was telling my cousin, how come all are happily living to 90s? My moms, my mother, my parents are all living in their 80s and 90s and 100. My grandmother 30 years ago lived in by 100 because my great-grandmother provided everything she wanted. She was just a kept doll for my grandfather. So she had no worries. She lived. But what the scientists have understood, and now we got data collecting because the insurance companies are looking at this very, very carefully. They estimated the guy to die by 90, by 80, by 70. Now he's going into 100. They have to find money for the pension for another 20 years. And so they start looking at this. Why? Firstly, women are living longer, because men took all the pressure. They just were home looking after all. They had a Dolly Bear job as an actress, and they lived a good life. They never had to worry about the pension and living, because they're financially supported by their own work. Then we see that those who die, there is a 5 indication that the body is switching to death. Doesn't matter how active you were, how things were. If the body switches to death, first thing we see, withdrawal from environment. Oh, I don't want to go somewhere. Body is trying to recuperate, to withdraw. So our soul is aware of the departure. Our spirit is aware that it's getting the body ready, because it's reached the maturity point. We see it 12 months before death. Majority of the people who die very much normal death, in bed or whatever, show 5 signs, majority of them. If you see 3 of them, you understand the grandpa or a grandma is getting ready to go. I don't need to eat. I'm hungry. Refusal of food because I've taken over my lifetime every energy I needed from. I want to cut my crimes, killing more. The other one is, I don't need to sleep that much. Other point is that they start talking about their pastime. You know, I had a dream about the grandma, or I had a dream about my mother or my grandmother and the rest. And then the other thing is social understanding of clarity of the position. And when you see this with your parents or your grandfathers or your family, this shows the soul is getting to depart. It's the first sign of death, physical death. But it's not that suddenly he went to sleep and he died in bed. It was a beautiful grandmother. Look at the history back for past 12 months. She didn't come to see us as she used to, because she used to always withdraw socially. I've done everything I wanted to do. I'm not that hungry. The food is not important anymore because my body is getting ready to what I'm going to do with all this extra energy food I eat. So we, our soul, and our soul of physicality prepare us for that point of departure. And it's for, especially if you look at the culture of the what we call the native Indians in America, they were very much aware of this process. They knew when the death is about to come, because they were not like Genghis Khan and the Europeans fighting and running. They lived by the law of the nature, and they could see the structure of the nature. And that's why life was celebrated when it was separated. So the structure of the life we are not aware of, but science now supports this, that our soul is aware of the time of departure. Doesn't happen accidentally. Watch your elder people in the family and monitor for the next 10, 20 years. When they start withdrawing from society, when they start eating, I don't need that much, you know, I've had everything, blah, blah. These are the signs that you have to celebrate their presence to be with you in that time, because the body is ready, the soul is prepared to separate. The plan is set. Doesn't go by age, doesn't go by culture. It's just how what we call our physical structure, our ancestral blood is set for that. And those who stay active delay this process by much longer, as we see. If you stay mentally, I'm not physically going for a ride, because one day I cannot run anymore. I used to go for a walk every day for 1 hour. I can't do it. I do it for 10 minutes. And these are the signs of the soul preparing to depart. And then you say, oh, he died in bed, but he was asleep. But look at the 12 months before. Exactly 12 months we see these processes start. So death is not, natural death is not something, you know, somebody died. Look at the history. Science not supports it. Our soul prepares our physicality for departure. And if you understand this, you answered your question. Any other question, please?
Okay, thank you. Let me see here.
So shall we call it a day? You needed 3 hours into it.
Sure. Yes. Yes, we can do that if you like. We're pretty much cleaned up with questions.
Yes.
If there's any left over, people can bring them in for next week.
If you got one or two, we answer.
Well, we had one from through Raphael from a knowledge seeker from the Brazilian community. Apparently doesn't, he doubts about people going to the moon and so on. So he says, there are 4 people of NASA going towards the moon. Is it true? First, they have to cross the They have to cross the Van Allen belt then they need to go through the radiation. Can the human body handle the cosmic radiation? Or this is just another show?
It makes me laugh because I don't know if he heard one of them. I think it's the head of the mission said something very funny, knowingly or unknowingly. He said, it's the first time man is going to the moon. What happened to Apollo 9? I don't know if you heard the recording. The head of this group, which is supposed to go to moon, he said, as it's the first time man is going to the moon, what happened? If you're American, you know you've been there, how come it's the first time man is going to the moon? So, is it the reality, or did man go before? We'll find out. We have managed to, the beauty of it is that combination of governments are lying to us, and because they lie to us, the other ones lie, so they can't say they're lying. So we know we have sent equipments to the moon, we have sent equipments to the Mars. Americans are there, even the Indians tried, the Israelis failed as usual, and what do you call, the Chinese have tried and landed. So it's possible, unless all the governments are lying to us, going to Mars and moon, because one lied, the other one can't say you lied because we lie. So it's possible to go. Physical body, to go through it is another dimension. But as I said, we go to the moon, but in the monkey clothes. We haven't gone to the moon, we just changed boxes. Living, being on the planet, is when we live naturally on the planet. And this is the process we are looking at. There is a big doubt about man going to the moon in the 90s. As we know, Americans lie very good and they believe in their own lies. As we've seen in the past few days, another big American lie came up and the whole thing has blown up out of their face. And now we see the second cycle. If it is true, man can go. But if man cannot live on moon in a normal condition, then there are questions. That is it worth doing it? It's no use packing your bags and going from freedom of a house to live in a prison. Just you want to be in another way, I can be locked up. And then the biggest problem we have with these people is radiation feedback when they come back. We know astronauts, they are in the labs, we have done a lot of things done. I remember sitting in the car with Iran, head of the Space University, Tehran, the last time I was in Tehran, telling me about the monkeys, what effects they've seen when they set the monkeys up and everything else, which the Americans did years before that. But we have to see how the structure of the monkeys change, how the structure of the body of the man change. And yes, it's possible, they've gone up, let's see if they land, or we're getting another hoax, or do the Chinese lie the same as the, what do you call it, the Russians, and the old lie become a lying club of the space force. As we know, the machines are there, humans can get there. But all these Van belt and the other belts and the other things, if we didn't affect those systems to get through, so we have the technology to get through. But the point is not getting there. I remember in June of, or July of 2008, when Ayatollah Khamenei's office said, okay, we took up what next, which led to the development of all these technologies, the gas technology and the rest of it for you lot, came from that question. We can travel, but can we live as a free person, as a free man on the moon? Then it counts as actually conquering the space. Otherwise, we can get in the sardine tin and should be thrown anyway. Any other question? The biggest thing is, what is funny, sorry about that, is that if the Americans go there and say we can't find a footprint of Apollo 9, 10, or 11, they've never been here. That'll be the biggest dynamic. Now, how do you sort that for them? And
well, the way I understand it is they're going to the dark side of the moon this time instead of the far side of the moon, rather than this side, the side that we see normally.
Oh, because that side nobody can say this time. Nobody can see the cameras in the background. You mean?
They can do anything. They can say they did anything. No one can tell.
Nobody will know.
No witnesses to tell.
This time they must have made, 50, 60 years down the line, these studios are much better and AI can do better job. Any other
We have a question from Gatwa. It says, "Good day, Mr. Keshe. Do you have any updates on peace in the Middle East? What is happening there that the media does not report? Thank you for your update and best wishes."
As you know, this situation is very critical. I've been asked by the officials, please do not make any comment. I've received official requests by people to keep out for the time being. But in essence, it's the first time Americans have been defeated totally. A nation like America doesn't go into peace talks if it was successful. We've seen their behavior in Iraq and everywhere else. The losses of American soldiers exceeds 40,000. Military personnel, families, and the rest passes 40,000 personnel. Missing in action does not consider as dead. Hospitals in Europe are full with American soldiers. American hospitals in America, military, are full with soldiers. In the future, we'll see the veteran of this war, which come, they never even seen the war. As usual, American glorify things to cover what they didn't do. Iran defense technology is intact and cannot be touched. So they start killing civilians, and the guilt of killing civilians overtook everything else over President Trump. He could not see killing civilians, and that's why he wanted Iran to propose the peace. And the peace is in our term. We'll get everything we want. Iran will hold and develop its nuclear technology into space without arms. We do not need nuclear space technology, nuclear programs, weapons, because we developed the space technology in a different way. We are aware of the plasma technology. In my communications, I asked many times why we are not there. They have their own reasons. There is a structure set up by Ayatollah Khamenei. We don't know what it is. They don't want this to be done. We do not know the reason. They're waiting for a date in 2026 that we are aware of. Actually, I was talking just before this with Rick. October of 2026 is when the Jews, the Muslims, and the rest are believed that there will be a manifestation of Messiah, and actually falls with a 666 teaching of the Keshe Foundation. Antichrist, as you call it, teaching. We have to watch that teaching, what it turns out to be. Very interesting. Coincidentally, we didn't know that 15 years ago when we started. Same time, you have to understand, over 200,000 Israelis have been killed. Totally vanished. Top engineer, when you hear they tell you a power station or the Haifa refinery was hit, or the other thing, these are not empty machines. There are people working in there. If they are not, the whole thing blows up to pieces. All these people have gone. Israel has lost over 200,000 civilian and engineers. Don't forget, Iran hit the key industrial positions, all fully occupied. People are in the silos, died. As I said last time, during the Hitler time, they said they put them to the gas chambers. They said they died of their own gases. In the basements, they cannot come out. The extensive damage done to Iran will be paid by the Americans. And it's in the manifestation of the things. Americans are trying to jump it by allowing Iran to collect the damages through the Strait of Hormuz. But the Iranian government has submitted in the court in Iran prior to this situation claims against national sovereign assets, against Trump, Netanyahu, Israeli government, American government. This is why when you see Iran has put in there that America will pay for full claims of all the damages because we have a court confirmed, internationally accepted. We sell the American assets in China all over the world to pay for the Iranian damages. Now you Americans, you know how you've been done, how you walked into a war. The next 10, 20 years, you pay to repair Germany. Now you pay Iran to repair the damages in order the stupidity. Read. These 10 points in Iran claim everything has a reason. America pays for them, and you don't pay. We got a court injunction. The way exactly Russia did to the European when they get 95 billion to Ukraine, Russia through court confiscated the assets, immediately sold it to the Chinese half price. They access all your technologies. Iran has reached this decision. We took the court case very rapidly in the first week of the war, and now Mr. Trump, all his assets, Netanyahu, American government, Israeli government, and those who supported it by the court order is changed to international, will pay. They know we're going to get it. So damages you've done, billions, we're not going to pay 1 million per ship crossing. This is why America knows we got this court case against them, and we registered the court case. So there's much more detail into running of this war. But Netanyahu has already been instructed in the background for failing the war and bringing such a devastation to Israel. He's going to be arrested. He's going to be brought down as a prime minister in the coming time and then sent to Den Haag for his prison sentence, crime against humanity. Trump is trying to buy that out. He was after getting a Nobel Prize for peace. Now he gets a Nobel Prize for biggest murder ever happened in the shortest time in the history of it. Estimated we lost about 250,000 Iranians. They cried for claiming Iran killed 35,000 people in 2 days. Americans have killed over 200,000 Iranians in 30 days. Has to be answered to. It has to be answered to, and we stand firm on it. If the war starts again, it comes out of the position that the Trump does not see himself out of prison. That's the only way he's going to be kept out of prison. His son-in-law is the biggest criminal. He'll be taken to Den Haag court for initiating the war. He made an arrangement with the Israelis and the Saudis to create this war, to get a pipeline through Saudis to Mediterranean that bypasses Strait of Hormuz, and he makes himself billions. He lied to Trump to initiate, and Netanyahu supported it. So you understand this is a family affair. Netanyahu, as you know, used to sleep in his bed, this boy's bed at home when he was in America or when he was in Israel. So this is a family affair, has become a world affair. But one thing has come good out of it. This will be the end of the wars. There's two things. We saw the leader of the opposition of Taiwan this week in Beijing. Because now, instead of seeing the devastation, what happened to Iran will happen to Taiwan, they're handing over. The plan of the Chinese government was to hand over 27, 29. The Chinese are literally, the Taiwanese are handing over the Taiwan to Chinese for them not to be attacked and devastated. And this brings a heavy problem for America. They'll be cut off all the microchips. And China is good at this, will control the American industry, will be the way they are doing with the what we call rare earth materials, and then we'll see a new cycle, a superpower on the back of the government of China is on the verge. If this handover takes, because Taiwan is afraid that they might attack, and if they attack, Taiwan has lost everything, they don't need to, they start negotiating in the background to bring Taiwan into China. And once that comes, America is trying to get as many contracts signed, confirmed, and all Chinese are going to do any contract signed prior to merger of the nation has to be approved by central government, and then you know what that means for the rest of it. The war can start because Netanyahu needs to keep a war going to keep himself alive and out of prison, and everything else which is happening with it. But this is a dual game. Netanyahu and the son of the Trump, they both are in the same track. And sooner or later, because Iran was actually registered this court case in the international, and the Chinese are prepared to take all the American assets, has taken a different shape. And you see in the 10 claims of Iran, all the damages to be paid. You don't pay, Mr. Trump, you're in prison. We got a warrant, international warrant, even as the president of the nation. The same with Netanyahu. And Americans will pay because the damages were deliberate, were not done into the military, they're done into the civilian, and is part of the sovereign assets. Iran has registered claim against the sovereign asset in the nation, not outside. We didn't take your gold, you didn't take our gold and whatever. You damaged assets inside the nation, deliberate, is terrorism, and they got a conviction for all of them, is issued, and this is what they don't tell you. And we see what happens. They try to recruit, they try to start a war, but Americans have lost all their bases. There are no American bases in the Middle East left, which thousands of soldiers have not died in it. Thousands of soldiers. When they tell you this center has been hit, there was no soldier in it. Where are you keeping all mock things in? Soldiers in it. All your bases, 11 bases, 13 bases, all didn't have 1 or 2 people just standing around. They didn't even get a chance to run anywhere. The same with Israelis. Now, our biggest position with the Keshe Foundation and the Iranian government is to see what's the damage to Bushehr, and we have offered full collaboration to bring any leakage radiation into control. We are waiting for the decision of Ayatollah Khamenei of Iran to give us instruction if we can enter and if we can use the technology and how much the damage is that they think is beyond control, and we have to see what happens. But it cannot be as bad as 3 Mile Island or Fukushima. I'm waiting for instruction from the Iranian government to move in rapidly with the Keshe Foundation team in Iran to bring, if there is any radiation leakage. We offered the same thing to the Israelis on the permission of the Iranian government to support what we call the Palestinians with the Dumana nuclear center, which is damaged. Our knowledge belongs to the humanity and not nations. There's a lot happening. We are a key instrument behind in the background in a lot of things, but we keep our position. But you and I know the Americans are listening. We have got warrants and the national sovereign assets by the court, internationally transferred for all those involved. Americans have to pay for what they did without any reason. Iranian weapon was never used for nuclear weapon technology, and they played by the game of a son-in-law who wanted to become rich. Sometimes you marry your daughter to the wrong bitch, and this is what happens. And nations pay, thousands of people die. Thank you very much, and we'll see you next time. Maybe at the peaceful time.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Keshe. Thank you. Well, okay, that brings to a close our 637th Knowledge Seekers Workshop here on Thursday, April 9th, 2026. You see, our next public teaching workshop will be coming up on Monday, actually. And Monday the 13th will be the public meeting for testimonials. And that will start at the 8 p.m. Central European Summer Time, CEST. And we open that to the public. If you have a testimonial that you would like to have recorded for posterity and for, in a way, it's a good way to help pay back for the knowledge that you may have received, the knowledge of the universe and of the plasma technology, and maybe you have a unique way that you've applied that technology, and having explained that in the public meeting for testimonials is a great way to help pay back for receiving, I think. So keep that in mind. Again, 8 p.m. on Monday the 13th. And then, of course, on the 14th, we have the One Planet, One Nation, One Race for Justice and World Peace. That starts at 4 p.m. Central European Summer Time. And that's with members and support members of the Universal Council who will be presenting that program. And speaking of Universal Council, I've got a thing to read from Lissy, who sent this. And let me just share it here now. And it reads, the Universal Council invites the Keshe family and the Universal family in unifying at the soul level every time and every day at 9 p.m. Central European Summer Time. We, the Universal Council, give freely our souls and invite all of humanity to elevate the soul of every leader to all nations to work as one soul in one direction to achieve peace as one nation, one planet, one race. Okay, thank you, Lissy, for that. And thanks to the members and support members of the Universal Council for continuing to present their program and work in the background to ensure peace. Okay, I believe that's it for our news and announcements here. So we'll go out in the usual manner with the Flight Enhancement Spaceship unit. And bye for now, everyone, and have a great day wherever you are.